Welcome back, everyone. Dustin here, Average Guy Hi-Fi again. Kind of got a new quarantine haircut there, just because I knew my hair was getting long, and I've got basically 2 more weeks, and it sounds like longer now under quarantine, so I decided to shave it myself. So I hope you guys are kind of making the best out of this situation out there, and you and your family are staying safe through this crazy time that we're going through. But I wanted to keep these videos going. This has been a little bit longer of a break than I really wanted, but trying to buy gear and stuff like that is proving to be a little bit more difficult. But luckily, I still have some speakers in around here that I can still review for you guys to kind of keep the content going until we get these regulations lifted a little bit here. So this next deal was one of my best ever. I got a 5-speaker package from a company called Triad. If you're not familiar with them, they're very highly regarded in the audio community, kind of known for custom installations from some real high-end home theater rooms, things like that. And they can kind of make speakers to suit your needs, basically. So you can get different finishes on them. They'll custom make your order kind of when you contact them. So, but this deal popped up on OfferUp. The guy had it listed for $325 for 5 Triad speakers. So what it came with was 2 front, a left and a right speaker, which are the InRoom LCRs, which have the same kind of horn look to them and all that as the center speaker does. So it came with 2 of those. Also came this speaker here, which is the Triad horizontal center speaker. I brought this one in here to show you the close-up of it because it's got some really kind of neat features there. It's got a little battery hole right here, if you could see that, where you put a 9-volt battery up to it, and then you sit in this the main listening position, and then you can angle this tweeter or this horn towards the main listening position. So if you can see that, there's a little set screw where you can adjust it. So it came with this, again, the Triad horizontal center speaker, and it also came with 2 Triad on-wall bronze surround speakers as well, too. So the whole package was listed on OfferUp for $325. I ended up getting them for $300, and this is kind of where the the importance is for keeping an eye out for off-brands and things like that, because the MSRP on these speakers was right around $6,000. So $300 is what I paid for them. If the MSRP, if you went in there at the time that these came out, it would have cost you roughly $6,000. I say roughly because Triad kind of keeps their pricing and everything real close to their vest. So I reached out to them to try to get specifics on these speakers because, again, I want that description of everything to be very detailed so you guys know the MSRPs, so you know the impedance of the speakers, so you know the ohms, all of that type of stuff. I want to be able to load that up. But on these, I just couldn't wait any longer. I know that this coronavirus thing has got a lot of companies kind of shut down, so no fault on Triad. But as soon as I get that information, I will be sure to update that description with all of the actual MSRPs. But right now I had to kind of come out roughly because I need this set to sell so I can go get some other speakers. So that's, again, kind of where I'm at with this set. So we're going to pop over there into the other room. I've been listening to these for about a week now. I love the sound that these produce. They are, I would call them more neutral. For whatever reason, they really reminded me of my Klipsch TH Ultra 2 system that I had in that room there. So a lot of similarities when it came to the sound characteristics and everything as well, too. So I'll pop over there and I'll show you guys these speakers in action, and then we'll come back in here and I'll give you guys the Average Guy Hi-Fi review. So stay tuned. All right, everyone, just got done setting the center back up and kind of recalibrating everything. So the movie that we're going to be demoing this time just is the elevator scene from the original Matrix. Just got the Matrix 4K Trilogy in, so I'm kind of excited about that. But like usual, here's a close-up of the speakers. This right here is the Triad front speaker LCR. Those are, again, I don't have all the details because Triad doesn't post a lot of the specifics of these speakers, so I've emailed them, but I'll put the specifics in there. But what appear to be 6-inch woofers, and then also a horn-shaped tweeter there. And then this up here is the center channel. That right there is a close-up of the battery operated horn angle. Basically, it has a set screw where you can adjust, and then this part right here, you can adjust the level of the horn to make sure that it's in line with your main seating position. So that right there is the Triad that is the Triad horizontal center speaker. Over here is the Triad, the other front LCR speaker. And then for surround duties, we'll be using the Triad on-wall bronze surround speakers there. So I am going to run these with the Martin Logan Depth I that I reviewed not too long ago, just because these speakers, from all I can tell, they were designed to be used with the subwoofer, kind of like my Klipsch Ultra 2s. So they don't dig real deep, at least when I was listening to them without a subwoofer. So they definitely should be augmented with a subwoofer. And big people that are spending this kind of money on 5 speakers anyway, $6,000 on 5 speakers, they're going to want some big subwoofers to kind of match that most of the time anyway. So here we go. This is Matrix 4K elevator scene, the original Matrix here, and I'll kind of give you guys close-ups here. The woofers aren't going to be moving around a lot. I have them crossed over at 80 hertz, subwoofers carrying the low end, kind of how they probably were intended to be. So if you guys have any information about Triad speakers out there, I want to keep my information accurate. So if you know anything, what these appear to be are the original Triad Gold speakers. If I'm wrong, go ahead and let me know, and then I'll update my description and everything. So here we go.
Back up! Stand back up!
All right. You probably can't tell, obviously you're watching these through computer speakers, headphones, your home theater system, but you can really, I mean, these are only 5 speakers, but if I could always run 7 if I wanted, but you can definitely hear the tiles kind of flying around the room when they're blowing them off the walls there. So, all right, so let's pop over there and I'll give you guys my sound impressions, the looks, kind of the average guy HiFi score here. Hold on one second. Okay, everyone, hope you guys enjoyed that demo of the Matrix in 4K. Highly recommended. If you guys like showing off your system, the way that the tiles and all that stuff kind of 3D moves around the room, you can hear it hit the surround speakers, and you people that have the Atmos and all the 7.2s and the 7.4s and the 9.2 systems out there, I'm jealous. But, you know, that little 5.1 system definitely sounds very good with these speakers, and that's a great movie. So definitely add Matrix to your movie collection there. But now we're on to the Average Guy HiFi review section, which is my favorite part of the videos. So where I just kind of go over 5 different categories, like usual. There's going to be the quality, just how the speaker feels in my hands, the materials, all that type of stuff, the sound. It's going to have an MSRP value, it's going to have an aesthetics value, and then it's also going to have my price paid value, and then each category is 10 points, and then you just average out the 5 categories, so 50 points total, and then whatever the percentage is on the point system. So that's the way that I've been doing it. If you guys have other suggestions, just let me know. But here we go. We'll start with the quality. Right off the bat, I gave them an 8.5 out of 10. Very high score when it comes to my scores. These things are much heavier than they feel. I've owned the RC62, which would be the equivalent, you know, the horns, that's a Klipsch speaker, but it has 2 6.25 inch, 6.5 inch woofers, somewhere around there with a horn tweeter. This one probably weighs 10 pounds heavier than that RC62. Very stout cabinets. When you knock on them, you can tell that they're internally braced. You pick them up, they just ooze quality. So I gave them an 8.5 out of 10. The reason it's not a little bit higher is because I don't like the way that they have their grills attached. They've got like these clips built into the cabinet and then little pegs that the grills actually fit into. I'll kind of show you guys a close-up there of the grill itself. They work. Everything works fine, but It's just kind of it seems like a clunky way of doing things when it comes to attaching the grills. But again, these are probably designed to go into just a big home theater, and the grills stay on, or they just stay off. So it's not a big deal from their standpoint. But for me, it was definitely a negative there. So 8.5 when it comes out of quality. The sound, I gave them a 9. So again, this is about as high of a score. They are very neutral sounding. They don't have super high highs. I think they were just designed to make the sounds that the movies were intended to make. You know, they're just basically you can tell that they get super loud very easily, and it still hits the dynamics and everything, but it's a little bit more of a neutral sounding speaker if I had to compare it to my Klipsch or my Definitive Technology, which are kind of known as being a little bit on the brighter side of speakers. So, but the performance, I mean, these definitely sound amazing. With that said, they require a subwoofer. 100% require a subwoofer. The bass that these guys put out is pretty good, but I think that the way that they were designed, from everything, from the start, the first day of designing these things, they were probably designed to be augmented by some subwoofers, which is understandable considering that these speakers are more catered to custom installations, things like that, which almost always they'll have subwoofers. So sound, I gave it a 9 out of 10, very high score, but definitely keep in mind that you will need a subwoofer. The MSRP value, I gave them a 6.5 out of 10, still a good score. But at $6,000, you know, that's roughly the price. If you guys know the actual MSRP, or if I hear back from Triad, I'll update the information down below in my description. But right now, these things, from what I can find on the forums and kind of my research, it retailed for about $6,000 for the 5 speakers. So now we're dealing with some big boy territory when it comes to kind of the quality of speakers and everything out there in that price range. So I gave them a 6.5. Still a good score in my review, but there is a lot of competition in that range to go get 5 speakers. You can get some pretty nice Martin Logans. You can get some nice Definitive Technology. You can get some... there's a lot of speaker manufacturers. Dolly, there's really good manufacturers out there that you can get some nice speakers for in that price range. So 6.5 out of 10 when it comes to the MSRP rating. The aesthetics, again... these are kind of an industrial looking speaker, which is how they were intended from what I can understand reading online. So they're not going to knock your socks off with anything fancy. They're just kind of basic looking. I do like the size, which is reason that they scored, pretty high, 7 out of 10, because I like the size of them. I think they look good flanking like a 65-inch TV, something like that. They look substantial enough that you know that there's something special, but they also don't dominate the room either. So 7 out of 10 when it comes to the aesthetics. My price paid, highest marks that I've given so far. $300 for $6,000 worth of custom speakers is insane. So I gave him a 9.5 out of 10. That is about as good as you're going to get out there. I fully expect to be able to get my money back. I know I could flip these if I was a flipper, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to list them and to cover my price. I'm probably going to list them around $350, $400, somewhere in that range to cover my price of going to time and effort and all that stuff to go get them. But I know somebody's going to snatch them up. In fact, somebody already knows that I have these and they've been reaching out to me. So I'll probably have them sold before I have to make ads or anything. But anyway, in that price range, anytime you can drop this type of money for this quality of speakers, you're doing very, very, very good. So I definitely, it's going to be a brand that not a lot of people have heard of, so that's probably a part of the reason, kind of went under the radar for a lot of people, because a lot of people have searches for the big manufacturers, but these ones kind of went under the radar a little bit. I bought them from a really nice guy. He knew what he had, just didn't want a lot of money for them. They actually came out of a professional baseball player's house. So that's kind of a cool story too, but now I'll be listing them and then we'll move on to the next set. So what does that all average out to? 8.5 when it comes to the quality, 9 when it comes to the sound, 6.5 when it comes to the MSRP rating, 7 when it comes to the aesthetics, 9.5 when it comes to my price paid. That averages out to a 40.5 out of 50, which is an 81%. Average guy HiFi score of 81%. So again, these are very high quality speakers. Super thrilled that I can make this video for you guys, because there's not a whole lot of representation of Triad online. So hopefully people out there that have these really high-end systems will see this video. I don't have a lot of details like I normally like to load it up with, but that's because there's not a lot of details available at this time. But I will be updating that description like I always will do. Or if you guys have feedback, say you know this particular speaker, you have this particular speaker, reach out to me, let me know if you know any specifics, because I'd love to just keep that information nice and just kind of always changing. If I have something wrong, I want to be able to adapt to it and get the right information in there for you guys. So Again, I know that kind of strange times that we're all going through. I'm going to keep these videos coming. This was a little bit slower than my last video, but expect another video upload within this week still. So I'm planning to do 2 a week. So definitely stay tuned. Please subscribe. Pass the video around. You know, if you have friends out there that are into used audio, stuff like that, pass this video around. It's already been, I'm up to 150 subscribers, I think, right now, which is just awesome. I'm super happy about that. So I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to keep this momentum going just because I think that there is a benefit for myself and for you guys out there that are similar kind of used speaker junkies like I am. So stay safe out there. Again, my name is Dustin. I'm with Average Guy HiFi. So please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to keep you around.